to InfoHub. In our headlines, President David Granger says local democracy was renewed by overdue local government elections. Whistleblower bill passed in the National Assembly. And Brazil Health Minister and team visits the Ministry of Public Health. Stay tuned for the details of these and more. And now for the details. President David Granger says the absence of local government elections for over 2 decades retarded development of a vibrant local democracy. Here is Alexis Rodney.
Addressing the National Regional Development Consultative Development Committee today, President David Granger told officials that the reintroduction of local government elections in 2016 opened the opportunity to empower the local democratic organs, moving them away from a dependence on central government.
Local democratic organs, including municipalities, neighborhood democratic councils, community councils, and village councils, form part of the state's democratic composition.
According to President Granger, the Constitution requires that local democratic organs ensure the efficient management of their areas and provide leadership by example. Attending the Confab 2, Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan explained that the NRDCC is intended to serve as a mechanism for coordinating the developmental agenda of all 3 spheres of government and is a step towards increasing the efficiency of the regional administrative structure.
It will be a decisive step towards ensuring that the government's agenda of decentralization is seamlessly implemented, since the NRDCC will facilitate networking and allow for regional programs, while respecting the authority and autonomy of our RDCs to be in alignment with the overarching vision and policy of the administration.
Minister Bulkan said that the administration is committed to building bridges across the chasm which divides the country. The event was held at the Marriott International Hotel under the theme Strengthening Regional Governance Through Leadership and Human Resource Development. Alexis Rodney for InfoHub.
Defeated opposition motion exposed conspiracy to stall much-needed sugar industry reforms, according to Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu. Gabriela Patram brings us that report.
The Prime Minister urged defeat of a motion by the opposition to have the report of the Commission of Inquiry into Gaisuku be put forward as a motion and be defeated in the National Assembly. However, the motion was doomed to defeat as only 14 opposition MPs were present for the debate, while the government fielded a full slate of 33 MPs. According to Prime Minister Nagamutu, the motion's passage would result in suspension of all the efforts to save the sugar industry, including 11,000 jobs.
So they want to hold up the work of Gaisuku, hold up the work of the SPU, hold up the work of the government, hold up the efforts being made to save the jobs of sugar workers, hold up the payment of severance, to frustrate the workers, and to capitalize on their needs, and capitalize on their grief, capitalize on the situation that no one wants to happen for political ambition.
The leader of the government side of the House added that the opposition can only resort to devise tactics to create mass confusion, disenchantment, and to frustrate efforts to rescue the sugar industry.
These truths shall be known, and I shall repeat these truths every time I stand on my 2 strong feet. I will be repeating these truths that the GAU and its handlers are trying to put us into a no-win situation, a dead end, so that it can serve its own purpose of frustrating the workers and capitalizing them.
Gabriela Patram for InfoHub.
The Protected Disclosures Bill, also known as the Whistleblower Bill, which seeks to combat corruption by encouraging and facilitating disclosures of improper conduct in the public and private sectors, was on Thursday passed in the National Assembly. Stacey Carmichael was there and filed this report.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams, in whose name the bill was laid, said that government is on an irreversible path to countering corruption in all its forms. Arguments that the bill is deficient were discounted by the AG, who noted that it is unique to what obtains in Guyana.
The bill seeks to protect persons making those disclosures from detrimental action and to establish the Protected Disclosures Commission to receive, investigate, or otherwise deal with disclosures of improper conduct and for other connected matters.
Public Security Minister Kemraj Ramjatan reminded that Guyana has signed onto the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, and it is in this vein that the whistleblower bill was crafted. He expressed hope that the bill's passage will challenge citizens' capacity to speak out on wrongdoings and emphasize the need for public awareness.
These arguments as to operationalization cost and come to the realization that it is better to have these institutions of government, institutions of governance that is going to play a major role in creating that good life and better society in future.
Presentations on the bill were also made by Government MP Charandas Prasad, Opposition Chief Whip Gil Teixeira, MPs Harry Gill, Adrian Anamaya and Gillian Burton. The 7-part Protected Disclosures or Whistleblower Bill contains 32 clauses. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
The National Cadet Corps was launched at the Hope Secondary School. Seneca Thorne has the details.
During brief remark at the launching ceremony today, Minister George Norton recognized the timeliness of the program.
Any program that instills the concept of accountability, of responsibility, and etiquette would have my full support and that of the ministry. For only then would we be able to produce a cadre of young Guyanese of the finest quality. And I said this is being done at an appropriate time.
Minister Nicolette Henry said that the program will produce students who have the seriousness of purpose to fulfill their potential as good citizens.
It is no coincidence that the majority of presidents, prime ministers, and leaders around the world would have been cadets at some point in time in their life. And so, I would like to place on record the Ministry of Education support for this program, and I certainly look forward to a very fruitful and productive partnership as we roll out this program here in Guyana.
This pilot program is being spearheaded by the Guyana Defense Force through the Guyana People's Militia. Some 487 students will be exposed to academics and adventure training in various areas of technical and other forms of education. It will also provide basic military education while building capacity and character. Seneca Thorne, InfoHub.
The British are keen to fund a review of the Guyana Police Force's training regime. Here is Stacey again.
British Security Advisor Lieutenant Colonel Russell Combe yesterday handed over his report on the security sector reform project to President David Granger at a simple ceremony at State House. In remarks to the media, Combe said Britain will fund a review of police training on his return.
There's also going to be a training review of the Guyana Police Force. Not just basic training, but also specialist and, if you like, employment training for the senior officers. And that's going to be funded by the United Kingdom starting in the new financial year, by when I hope to be back myself.
Combe also said he recognizes much of the work already conducted has begun to reflect a reformed security sector inclusive of the justice and emergency systems.
I'm not here to in any way be some sort of inspector of what's going on. There's the Citizens Security Strengthening Programme, there's the new build of the prison at Mazaruni. There is plenty already happening in the security arena. The intention here is to be able to be in a position and to procure the equipment required both by the police and, for example, the prison service and indeed the fire and rescue service, who, of course, are getting on with things already.
President David Granger yesterday reminded that the security sector reform began some 2 decades ago and was discontinued by the British in 2009 following disagreements with the then PPP government. The program was revamped following a request made by President Granger shortly after taking office in May 2015. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
Renetta LaFleur now tells us that preliminary works for the Sheriff Street Mandela Avenue Rehabilitation Project have started.
For those of you who utilize the Sheriff Mandela Avenue roadway, you may have noticed surveyors taking measurements. This is the initial phase of the planned multi-million-dollar project.
Work Services Group Coordinator at the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Jeffrey Vaughan, explained that these preparations will set the pace for the infrastructural works, which are expected to commence before the end of the first quarter.
Hydro is mobilizing. They're actually, as we speak, survey works is being done on the Sheriff Mandela project. This is basically to stake out the areas in terms of width, in terms of center lines, road. So we're actually doing all the preliminaries before we go into the actual works.
The contract for the Sheriff Mandela Avenue Road project was awarded to Sino Hydro Corporation Limited in November and signed in December 2017. Vaughan noted that one critical area that will be taken into consideration during execution of the project is proper traffic management.
We're hoping to ensure that the contractor has a proper traffic management document completed, which they will share with us and we will have to discuss to ensure that we have less disruption of our traffic during construction. So we'll have to look for all the alternatives that will come out in terms of people having to use this corridor to still execute business.
The existing carriageway will be upgraded and resurfaced from the northern end of Sherry Street through to Homestretch Avenue. From that point to the Mandela Avenue Hunter Street junction, there will be 4 lanes of traffic. Renetta LaFleur for InfoHub.
The first steps towards the establishment of a bilateral committee to address the strengthening of health services between Guyana and Brazil were taken today with talks between ministers of health from the two countries. Here is Zanil Williams.
Minister of Public Health, Walla Lawrence, outlined some of the committee's objectives. These range from collaboration with the School of Medicine of Brazil on anecdotes, laboratory exchanges, and training in tropical diseases, among others.
While we have several other items listed, I would like to indicate also our gratefulness for the training we have received in the public health sector from your country. The persons who have been able to have those experiences and gain those knowledge was able to come back to the country of Guyana and to provide immense services to our people.
According to Brazil Health Minister Dr. Ricardo José Manajas Barros, the visit will help to advance several agenda items proposed by both countries that will further enhance cooperation on matters relating to health.
Temos interesse na cooperação em função na cooperação de fronteira em função da migração venezuelana.
We have great interest in cooperation regarding border access, especially due to Venezuelan migration to Brazil.
Temos cooperação na parte de soros antiofídicos.
We also have cooperation regarding access to serum for snake bites.
Gostaríamos de cooperar também na possibilidade de discutir melhor a questão do atendimento de cidadãos da Guiana no hospital em Boa Vista.
And we would also like to talk about the attention to citizens of Guyana in the Boa Vista's hospital.
Minister Lawrence thanked her Brazilian counterpart and his team for their visit, noting that the meeting is expected to have many positive outcomes.
I would like to welcome the Minister to the Public Health, the Ministry of Public Health of Guyana, and to indicate to you that we are very excited at having this meeting, because we know that coming out of this meeting that we will have fruitful developments.
This visit comes days after the Ministry of Public Health expressed their interest in establishing a possible partnership with Brazil to provide improved healthcare services for residents in Regions 8 and 9. Zanil Williams for InfoHub.
And in our final report, ministers and tourism officials from 34 Organization of American States members will be gathering for the Inter-American Committee on Tourism, CITOR, when Guyana hosts its 24th Congress in March. InfoHub spoke with Minister of Business Dominic Gaskin, who explained that this is the first time that Guyana will host the OAS Ministerial Conference.
It's very significant, you know, to host these international events. It raises the profile of our country. We, of course, have to ensure that it comes off successfully. So there's a lot of work to be done.
The minister noted the event will put the country on the map, and as such, Guyanese should be proud. Over the last 2 years, there has been increased interest in Guyana hosting a number of international conferences.
People want to be in Guyana. They sense that there are exciting things happening in Guyana, and indeed there are in the oil and gas sector. And so Guyana has now become an interesting place, and that makes us that puts us now in the runnings for hosting various international conferences and events.
This year's conference will be held under the theme Connecting the Americas Through Sustainable Tourism. The focus of the meeting will be how to connect OAS member countries a little better through a common approach to sustainable tourism. Please be reminded that January has been designated Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. Women 21 years and older are reminded to have their pap smears done, since early detection can save lives. Thanks for watching. Remember to connect with us 24/7 on our website and social media. Goodbye.